We think of time as a one-way
Loki Season 1 is now behind us, but it left a lasting impression when it comes to theories and speculation on what is happening moving forward in the Marvel Universe. Welcome everybody, Jimmy or Chaos. Thank you so much to everybody that subscribed to the channel with those notifications turned on all the way, including YouTube notifications, because that's the only way you actually get the notification. I'm reading all the comments, I'm seeing all the support, and today we're going to talk about the Fantastic Four and how they were most likely introduced in a very nonchalant way in the Loki series. I'll let you guys determine if this was the actual soft introduction of the Fantastic Four or if this is just Marvel's way to get people talking, which they do. So, spoiler alert. Here it is. If you have not watched the Loki Disney Plus series yet, you might want to click off of this video because we are going to spoil the ending of it and break down this Easter egg that everybody is talking about. Now that we have that out of the way, everybody, do me a favor and drop a like if you enjoyed the Loki series, and let's get started. So before we get into the actual Fantastic Four alleged Easter egg, let's break a few things down here. Let's connect a few dots. And I want to start off with saying this isn't out of Marvel's realm or spectrum to do. Some people will say, there's no way they tease the Fantastic Four in this small, subtle way. It's a huge thing. Well, yeah, you're right. But they're also proving they will do any type of dynamic that they want to. Look at Deadpool being introduced in the MCU next to Korg breaking down a trailer of his other movie, Ryan Reynolds' other movie. Come on. They're definitely expanding their creativity. So let's connect a few dots here before we actually get into the Easter egg. We have Kang, right? Immortus, He Who Remains, Kang the Conqueror, all the variants, all that good stuff is happening. Most of us know, but if you don't know, Kang was originally Nathaniel Richards. He was born in the 30th century, and he is a direct descendant of Reed Richards. Yeah, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic for himself. But there's also, there's debate in the comics that he could be a descendant of Dr. Doom. Now, we're not going to go down that timeline. We're just going to say he's a direct descendant of Reed Richards. So you have your first connection right there when it comes to the Fantastic Four. So this episode was all about Kang, Immortus, He Who Remains, whatever you want to call him. So why not tie in a Fantastic Four kind of soft reveal, if you will? And that's what everybody is talking about. So if you didn't know, the Fantastic Four actually debuted in November of 1961. They went to space. You guys know the story. Their ship wasn't adequate enough to stop the cosmic rays. They all got their powers, and the rest is history. Well, the beginning intro of episode 6 on Loki, it's a very cool intro, and you would miss it if you weren't going frame by frame. There is a frame in there where you have what looks to be a 1960s-esque orbital space station. It looks very, very retro, if you will, right when the voice is talking about man on the moon. And then at the same time, you have a, first thought was a Guardians of the Galaxy type ship flying by right by the orbital space station. But the more we look at it, the more it's probably not Guardians of the Galaxy. So the ship that the Fantastic Four went up in has been dubbed Marvel 1, which was unmistakably a gold rocket, which this ship that we see in the opening sequence is gold. Well, let's take a look at what everybody is actually saying about this. And this is courtesy of We Got This Covered. I'll put a link in the description. And they grabbed a lot of tweets from a lot of people that truly think this is the introduction of the Fantastic Four. First one is from Auden Green. I've seen several hidden elements in the last episode of Loki, but the question at this moment is who is in the spaceship? I have a feeling it's the Fantastic Four. Very good screenshots. You can see them. You have the retro-looking 60s version of the space station, and then you have this not-so-retro-looking ship that flies by. Next, Christopher says, I'm calling this Loki was sent to this reality, the original one. The reality we knew as the MCU is like an ant farm for Kang the Conqueror. It's a teaser for Fantastic Four featuring a nod to their gold ship, hence a blue, and not to mention the orbital base in the same shot. And it's the same thing across the board. Marvelous Jedi says, hear me out, this is a Fantastic Four going into space in the 60s. As we see this ship around the same time, we hear Neil Armstrong's first words, on the moon. And it goes on and on. Jack Luridian says, for the opening sequence, you may or may not have noticed that opening space sequence had a blink and you'll miss it cameo from a spaceship we've never seen before. Who's in the ship? Fantastic Four? Well, I don't know. And there's a few other tweets you guys can see. Everybody thinks this is a nod to the Fantastic Four. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give you my opinion. You let me know what yours is. Marvel doesn't do anything without a reason, without a direction, without a cause, without a coming around back to it to pay it off down the road. Now, those payoffs, they don't necessarily happen in the next film or the next series. Sometimes those payoffs don't happen for years, but they don't do anything without a reason. They didn't just randomly throw this ship and this orbital space station in this intro sequence that just happened to be the intro to Kang, the time traveler who's connected to the Fantastic Four. I don't think it's by chance. I personally think this is a, you could call it a soft Easter egg. It's a, we're not going to give it to you, but we're going to let you divulge your senses and your theories and your speculations and come up with what you want to yourself. Now, the orbital space station looking thing makes sense for the time period of Neil Armstrong and going to the moon, but once again, that's also the same decade that the Fantastic Four was introduced and debuted. Now, I'm a little thrown off by the ship, because the ship is definitely not of that era. You can see it. It is more of a cosmic galaxy type, Guardians of the Galaxy, if you would, type ship. Something you would have seen in Guardians or Thor Ragnarok, something like that. So I don't know if they did that to kind of throw us off or what. But that's where we're at. You guys let me know. Do you agree with the internet? Do you think this was a Fantastic Four Easter egg? A low-key introduction to the Fantastic Four, which is going to be huge once we actually get to them. We have so many questions. I mean, who knows? We know Kang the Conqueror is going to be the main villain in Ant-Man Quantumania, but is that also going to be the introduction of the Fantastic Four? We don't know. I'll keep you guys posted. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check out the other two videos on the screen. We talk about the Dark Avengers in the MCU. I'll see you guys soon.